Hi Adana, this is Tamara from Love Dominates. It is September 10th, 2024, and today is the anniversary of the death of my mother. And I am going to explain for the first time what truly went on back in 2016. And with all due respect, I'm not demeaning or disregarding my mother in any way. I just want to explain the facts that went on in my experience in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, where my parents were from, and what truly happens in this world. It's going everywhere, and people don't realize it. Sorry, I have to wear these big glasses because I can't see. Anyway, it's very sad because, as a lot of people know, there are a couple choices out there for everyone. And you can either be a person that seeks the truth and seeks justice and does their research and due diligence to find out the truth about everything. And then there's other people that choose to live in ignorance and they just accept the world the way it is and live in that system. I must have always fought the system because since I was a child, I just always had different ideas and I was labeled a dreamer back then. And here I am living my dream. So anyway, my mother, she was one that didn't question anything. She just believed in the system. When I say the system, I mean she believed in the government, or she believed in anyone that had a license, like they had power over her. Somebody had more education than her, so they must, be, it's hierarchy. They must be higher than me. And that's how my mom and dad lived their lives. They believed doctors because they had all this, quote, schooling, which people don't realize that people that have a license to steal, have a license to kill, and you are part of a cult. You have given an oath to Satan, basically. Judges, lawyers, attorneys, they're not who you think that they are, because we've all been indoctrinated. We have all been lied to. So for my mother, she never questioned anything. She just believed in our health system, the pharma industry. She believed in whatever she was told. She didn't do any research. And that literally led to her death. And what I mean by that is my brother and my ex-spouse, the alienator, basically, my brother's the only one who knew my mother's finances. I knew nothing about my parents' finances, and I believe my sister didn't know anything either. I don't know because I'm not her, but I believe she didn't know either. It was just my brother, and my brother manipulated my mom into getting into all these BlackRock and Vanguard and whatever. My ex was behind the scenes, but uses my brother. And I'll never forget, I didn't live with my mom. I was, thousands of miles away when she was alive. And she kept telling me how wonderful her son was because he was taking her to doctor's appointments, working on her computer and fixing her computer, that she didn't have to spend money on an IT person. And I was like, why would Todd be helping with the emails? I mean, yes, you could have a good son and just doing the right thing, but there's manipulation and control and power under this. And what it is he got into her email system so he could see the email exchanges between me and my mom, between my sister, whatever. Not that I was saying anything in secret, but it's just a privacy thing. But he controlled her so bad, he started taking her to doctors, and the doctors told her she had a disease called amyloid, which is a blood disease. She didn't have protein in her blood, and which caused strokes and aneurysms down the line. I believe the medications are what killed her. And I don't believe in these diseases. Trust me, I have been to so many countries, so many different islands, and there's people that live, over 100 years old that don't eat American food. They just eat the fruits off the tree or the vegetables that they have, and they're completely healthy. There is no pharmacies. There is no health industry. There is no big corporations. And these people love one another. They help one another. There's no sickness. There's no poison in the food. There's no agenda. They govern their own people and they have dominion over themselves. So my point to this is my mother believed my brother and believed my ex and believed the doctors and didn't do any research, which led to her death. I call it medical murder because Montgomery County was involved. The funeral directors are involved. I also believe not only do they want to get into your trust, the inheritance or God-given inheritance, the mineral and energy wealth that was given to us at birth, that the elites stole, or I'll call them the evildoers. I think I got to backtrack. Anyway, my mom believed in the doctors, took all these meds. I think the medicines are what eventually killed her, gave her the aneurysm. Also, she went to a hospital that she never goes to. She didn't have her correct doctor. And, everything was premeditated. And what happened was my brother, on paper, in court documents, I have it, it said that he was working for my ex. And this was November 11th, 2012, just when I asked for a divorce. And think about this. The three men in our family, my brother-in-law, John, my sister's husband, my brother Todd, and my ex, all hate women. They all alienated the children from the mother, every single one of them. But when my mom was alive, my brother tricked my mom into cutting me out of the will. And then that way, all the inheritance that I was supposed to get, which I had no clue of, so I wasn't expecting anything. I never ever thought of my parents dying. I never wanted my parents to die. But what I found out later is they cut me out of the will. My portion was supposed to go to my 4 children, which they were underage at the time, which means it would have gone to my ex. And this is what my ex said: you will have nothing. You will never see your kids again. I hold all the cards of your finances. I'm going to destroy you. I never thought one person could do so much damage. But yes, it doesn't take 2 to tango. It takes 1 to destroy generations of families. And it's true. But my brother is highly involved in this. They changed the will so that, after my father, he would be executor to the will. So my brother tried to make my dad mentally ill, and he wasn't able to handle the probate or whatever. And I was able to prove. I mean, we saved my dad from my brother because he was trying to put my dad in a mental home, and my dad just lost his wife. He just wanted to be in his house, but their game plan was to take the house too and sell it, just like they stole my house, they stole my sister's house, and now they're actually, get this, I mean, it's so hard to follow this story, but one of my lawyers is still trying to bring me to court. They're doing everything illegally. It's a lot of people don't know this, but it's a grammatical deception. It is a sign language. They use all caps, which is a dead entity. And you can't incorporate two different languages. Like they have, everything they're doing is fraud. It's fraud upon the court. Everything is fake. The judges, the lawyers, don't be afraid of them. They're actually below you. They're creeping out of the sewer. These people are gutter people. I mean, they want you dead because they make money off the dead. So, going back to my mom, and again, I'm not being disrespectful whatsoever. This is what happened. This is my experience, and people need to know the truth. You know, it's not against the law not to probate a will. In these islands, what people do is the death of a loved one, they actually cremate, or they don't even cremate. They just put them in the ground on their own property. And then they can be with them every day if they want. They don't have to pay a funeral director and have you cremated. You don't know what's going on with that body once it leaves your property. So, and trust me, there's a lot of abuse going on. They harvest organs. They'll take the organs for satanic rituals. And I mean, these are the Freemasons, and they are, a lot of them are out there. But my mom was medically murdered for her inheritance and to destroy me. I don't care about money. I don't live for money. I live, I hope, the way that Yeshua wants me to live. And I follow his law, which is the Torah law. So I am trying to stick with that as much as I can and role modeling to my kids. I mean, think of what my kids had to go through. They had one parent that was on the side of the light, that was a truth teller. Then they had another parent that never, ever held anyone accountable for their actions. He was never held accountable for his actions. And he held my kids higher than the parent. So he would tell my kids, you're more mature than your mother. You're smarter than your mother. You know, so the hierarchy was the alienator, the children against me, the mother. And then what they do, their tactics is to use authority, use the police, the judges, the lawyers, the courts to harass you for life. I mean, I just laugh at them now. Like when I see the paperwork, I literally laugh because I can see the language in the letterhead, the all capitals. And then also they do which is proper English, the first letter capital and then lower letters. And it's just unbelievable, the fraud. And they keep doing it thinking I don't know. So yeah, I chose to leave the matrix, to get out of the matrix, the best that I can. It shouldn't be this hard because our God-given rights are to be sovereign. And there is no such thing as sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. You can't be sovereign and a citizen at the same time. So being sovereign to me is just being one of nature, one of God, one of, our Savior. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to live my life that way. And I hope I role model to my kids that way. But my mom should have never died. She was only 75 years old. She had her health. I mean, the only thing she had going against her was just extra weight, because my mom was her natural being was very small. She's boned. She was very petite. I think she was like 5'1". Yeah, 5'1". And it's the food. The food that you were eating is poison. And I battled with my parents, and everyone just made fun of me. I didn't believe in what the doctors were telling me about my son with the asthma and all this kind of stuff. The drugs is what was killing my son and stunning his growth. And I completely went cold turkey, and he never had an asthma attack again. So, I mean, this video is getting longer than I expected, as usual. But I just want people to start doing their research. Start questioning everything. Question everything. Go with your gut feeling. Do your research. A lot of this research, I mean, when you think about it, I would never send my kids to public school or private school. I would never send them to college, because who owns the colleges? Who's donating money and funding the college? And find out who that person belongs to, because their agenda is put through the school system. So like fraternities, anyone that is part of a fraternity is part of Satan. They're all chanting to Lucifer. And they get the children, they do the hazing on purpose to get the children ready for the satanic cults. And this is no lie. This is true stuff. I won't even get into the child trafficking, but that is how they make their money. Is we are all trafficked. We are all slaves the minute we are born and the minute you get a birth certificate. So please do your due diligence. This is in dedication to my mom, actually. I hope this helps. I hope people will, dig in a little further. I didn't go ahead and do an autopsy report on my mom, because I knew that would be manipulated too, because every single piece of paper that you get is a lie. They make up the death certificates. They'll make up any kind of certificate to their advantage to protect them. So that's why these agencies feel above the law, because it's a Nazi regime. It goes, everything leads back to Rome, and it all goes back to the Act of 1666. Actually, it goes back before that. But my point is, don't just sit there and believe what you hear, because the truth has become lies and the lies have become truth. And this video here, I'm dedicating to my mother, because she should not have died at 75. She should be here with her kids and her grandchildren. But she also was alienated at the end, because my mom started turning around and asking my husband at the time to, forgive. And he just retaliated even more. And he used the children, her grandchildren, to threaten them. And my mother-in-law is involved too. I believe she's an Eastern Star. These people, my father-in-law, who I never met, was a commissioner in New York, and they know the system. They know the system very well. Very well. Okay, I'm going to put this out there. I have no idea how long this is, but Abba bless, and it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Amen.